Welcome back to Ready, Set, Quest. Table for two. I'm here with Paul Sollimo, and we are playing out the finale of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. Welcome back, Paul. Here we are.
Yeah.
For session two. Not sure what episode this is, because this might be broken down into more than 2 episodes, but we're here for the finale.
This vampire's not living forever.
This vampire is not living forever. We have shows to make. So, recap of last time, you left Italy.
Yes.
What was your name now? Father Giuseppe Arena. You turned into Father Giuseppe Arena.
That's right.
You left Italy. You met a little girl along the way who gave you some moral quandaries to think about. And you made your way to Spain, and you got embroiled in a conflict between the queen and the royalty and a merchant. And somehow you ended up on board the Nina, Pinta, and or the Santa Maria en route to the New World with Christopher Columbus.
Yes.
And that's where we're going to pick up today. So I would love for you to roll, and we're going to expedite things a little bit. So we're just going to omit the D6 so that we can kind of move a little bit quicker through the prompts. If you were playing this actually solo, you would want to roll a D6 and subtract that, and then take your time with it and explore all the different prompts. But today's a finale, so we would like to get to the end. So we're going to just roll the D10 and let that guide us through. I'm going to pull up your...
Oh, I got a 10.
Oh my God, what a start.
Leaping ahead.
Let us pull up your pretty vampire sheet.
All right.
Here we go. So we have some skills here, resources, characters. You've murdered a lot of people.
Yeah.
Christopher Columbus is now a character in this. To remind you and the audience, you have yellowish skin, sunken eyes. You look like you have the plague. You've got a blast wound on your chest. That's a big red scar. It's very visible.
Right.
And you've now forgotten about the time when Brother Jacoby bullied you and pushed you into a grape barrel when you were
Who's that guy? I don't even remember him.
Yeah, who was that guy?
And the marks the intensity comes and goes with how long it's been since I've had a kill, I think. Remember?
Right. Yes. Right? You look more disgusting the longer you've been.
Schedule things around that.
So let's you said you got a 10. So that takes us to 29. Let's just begin.
All right.
You are exposed as a monster and flee to a far-off land. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Lose any stationary resources. You do not know the languages of this new place. How do you overcome this obstacle?
That is perfect, dude.
That's kind of perfect. I mean, we were already kind of doing this one, but let's say that this is what we were already doing.
I have a feeling, a vision of how this could play out.
Okay.
So we do this expedition. We're off on Christopher Columbus's great voyage, and it takes a minute to get across the Atlantic Ocean, and, vampires get hungry. So maybe I start killing rats, and then I start killing people, and people start freaking out. And maybe as we get closer, they start to notice something's happening, and there's alarm, and they're trying to root out who it is on the ship. Maybe there's a murderer, psycho kind of thing. By the time we get to the Americas, I have to jump ship and run to save my life, and I end up in the New World, not knowing the native language.
That's amazing. Let's play out
that all works.
Let's play out the final.
Okay.
Let's play out the jumping ship.
All right.
Part of it. So we're Christopher Columbus made it to Haiti, I believe.
Yes.
Initially.
I was doing a little bit of reading up on him after our last session. He was a right bastard. He was.
Yeah. So maybe he gets eaten. I don't know. We'll find out in this alternate history. So according to history, from that video you sent me, if I remember correctly, I watched it a minute ago, but they kind of got run ashore outside of, like their ship got kind of stranded on shore, and they had to like get on their boats and make their way to the island, and then they stayed there for over a year while they were rebuilding their ships, and they got to know the islanders, and according to real history, they went back to Spain or Portugal to tell everybody about this, and then they left some men behind, and then when they came back, they basically came back with the intention of just enslaving all these people that they had found. Even though while they were gone, the people they left behind were treated so hospitably, and they had no idea that these people were going away to come back and just terrorize them and enslave them. So that's the real history. But let's see what happens in our world. So let's start with the ships getting run aground outside of Haiti.
All right.
The crew has been. How many people do you? I don't know how long it takes to sail across the ocean. It must take weeks. Right?
It's a couple. I think it was a month or 2 months.
Right.
Maybe.
So it's a month have gone by. We never exactly established how long it takes for you to feed. We can decide that right now. How long in between feedings do you require?
I think we were doing weekly.
Weekly.
So it's either weekly or every 2 weeks. I think weekly works.
Okay. So it's been 4 to 5 weeks. You've probably murdered maybe 4 to 5 people. And maybe you subsisted on rats for a while. And then for maybe the first week or two, but then you couldn't. So let's start with you guys.
I'm going to blame it on scurvy. I'm going to tell them these men they need the citrus. They're getting scurvy.
Yeah, well, let's see what you actually tell them, because Christopher Columbus knocks on your door. As you're sitting inside of your cabin. What are you doing as he knocks on the door? You guys have you felt the ship just kind of like grind to a halt. People have been excited for the last day or two because they've spotted land, and you guys have been sailing closer and closer, and you just have felt the ship like run aground as there's a knock on the door. What are you doing inside your cabin?
I would be washing some blood out of some clothing.
That's okay.
Maybe reminiscing of my old days and trying to act priestly in public, but in my cabin, my quarters, maybe just trying to relax and be myself. So I'll... do I still have my family's Bible? I think I still have that.
Yeah, you definitely still have that.
Okay.
Where is the things? Sorry, I'm scrolling.
I'll whip that out and I'll go to the door and I'll have it open and I'll be mumbling to myself like I'm reading Latin and open the door. Yes, how can I help you, Christopher?
Oh, Father, what is your name again?
Arena.
Giuseppe. Father Arena, we have made it to land. All these calculations I've made were correct. We have made it to the Far East. I am certain of this.
Excellent. Your name will be sung in all of the court at home when they hear the news. This is amazing.
They will build statues of me, I assume.
Absolutely.
That is a matter for another time. Father, we are in serious trouble. These bodies keep turning up, and I'm worried that there's someone. At first, we thought it was scurvy, like as you said, but it does not seem to be scurvy. It just seems to be some unnatural thing. This last man was found, just his entrails splayed out all over the ship, blood everywhere. It's like a beast ripped him open. What do you make of this?
I have not heard of such a thing. I hope that this is not some curse from God. He has seen us through this journey thus far with good fortune and good wind, that we've made it here in one piece. I cannot imagine that in this late stage he would somehow curse your mission to expand the trade routes for
Yes.
the royalty. Queen Isabella is very much counting on you and spreading his word to any people that we can convert.
Yes, but this is not an act of God. This is an act of the devil.
The devil. Oh, Dios míos. I kiss my rosary beads. I say some prayers in Latin. Rest assured, I will get to the bottom of this. I will investigate, and I will bring God's will to your benefit, my friend.
Yes, that is what I'm here to ask you about. I don't know how to say this, Father, but one of the crew hands was out late last night. I asked him to keep watch. He was up in the crow's nest, and he saw you skulking about on the bow of the ship. Why were you out last night?
I must have been making my nightly rounds. I do blessings for the ship and the crew to ensure the safety and success of our travels. I believe it is my appointed duty as a man of God to do everything I can to ensure the safety and success of this mission.
And he looks down at your hands, and you see that you still have blood under your nails as you were washing the clothes.
Oh. Yes. Anyway.
He grabs your hand.
Yes.
Can you explain this? Guards, come in here. And some of the
I was tending to the
come
ills.
into the room. He starts doing like the sign of the cross. I not know what you have done with Father Giuseppe Arena, but the devil has inhabited you. Guards, restrain him.
I assure you, I am Father Giuseppe Arena. I assure. Look, this is my family Bible, the rosary beads. Look, I got the collar and everything. What you want?
He looks in and to inspect your collar, and he sees that your scar is like poking up from underneath, and he rips open your shirt.
Personal space, Christopher. Personal space.
We've been on this ship for too long. There is no personal space. I'm tired. I'm sore. We're at the new world. I will not have my name tarnished by the devil himself. And he rips open your shirt, and everyone gasps as they see this like horrific scar, just like pulsing with blood and like this like unnatural blast wound on your chest.
Yeesh.
What do you do?
How many guards are here?
There's 3 guards in the room.
I'm going to use my voice skill and
Yes.
command, unhand me now. And if they do, I'm going to grab for my ceremonial dagger from Krakow, and I'm going to slice all their throats open. Whoosh.
I love it. So, as per the rules, which I've just recently,
What rules?
You have no more skills to check. So, in order to do this, you're gonna have to sacrifice a resource to do this.
Why, have I used all of my skills? You only get to use them once?
Well, you're using we're kind of playing fast and loose with the rules, but my interpretation
Okay.
will be if you want to use the voice skill again, you're gonna have to sacrifice a resource.
Okay. I'll sacrifice my wooden cart.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna say that one's already gone. Like I don't think we packed it with you.
I'll sacrifice my abandoned stone house. Oh,
I leave you my stone house. You can check it for all the bodies. I'm sorry. Now let's say you lost your stone house in your cart. So what is the dagger, the beads, and the Bible? That makes sense. You have those things with you.
So when I slice their throats with the dagger, I accidentally catch the rosary on my Bible, and the beads, the string of beads comes apart, and all the beads scatter on the floor.
Love that. And then you slice the guards with the dagger.
Yeah.
Christopher, do you leave Christopher alive, or what do you do to Christopher?
I'm gonna bum rush out of there, push past him. I I think he might be too powerful a man to kill outright without having it come down on my head. So I'm going to yell out, and as I'm running out of the boat, I'm going to say, "Columbus is crazy. He's killed 2 of the guards. He's killed 2 of the guards." I'm going to run through the ship screaming my head off. You need to arrest him. He's committed murder. Oh God, please. And I'm going to run to one of the longboats and try to get a longboat into the water.
As you jump in the boat and you untie it, and it like you're already. I guess they'd probably already started unloading these because they're getting ready to go to land. So one of them, you find a vacant one that's already been sort of untied and is just kind of getting ready. They had been loading some supplies onto it, but it's currently unmanned. You jump in. Christopher Columbus runs out of the berth. Stop him! He's a devil! Stop that man! And he's
insane! He's seeing the devil. He's killed 2 men in my quarters. Please restrain him.
They look momentarily confused, not sure what to do, and you're able to sort of jump in the boat and row away from the ship. And to finish off this
get help!
How do you overcome this other? What new name? So you make your way. So let's narrate a little bit of the next. Let's narrate the next few weeks of your life or months of your life.
So I make it to the shore. We're in Haiti.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to escape up into the mountains. I'm going to lose the priest garb. Just get some common clothes if I can. When I get to shore, I'll just kind of pretend nothing is wrong. Just kind of walk around, pick up some clothes, and maybe a chicken or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And make my way away from this encampment and up into the hills.
And you hide out. You find some sort of cave.
Yeah, I'll try to find some makeshift thing, and I'll stay close enough because I know I need to feed, and my only source is these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I will become a creature of the night.
Yes, and we'll leave you there in the cave, gnawing on a chicken, as we fade to black and roll us another roll.
All right. A 1. You want me to re-roll that to move further?
Let's add this into a memory.
Okay.
So this will go into this new slot, which is killed crew members of. Let's decide. Were you on the Nina, Pinta, or Santa Maria? Just for history's record.
A Pinta.
Killed crew members of the
La
Pinta.
Pinta.
Was found out. Oh my God, am I typing? It's also lagging. Was found out. Escaped to the mountains. Become a creature of the night. Okay, sorry, what did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
1, so we're on to 30 now. What social mores have you forgotten? Lose a checked skill.
Let's see.
So all the bolded ones are checked.
Forgotten. Well, I could say stomping grapes because that's useless, but that's kind of a giveaway. That's a throwaway one. How about I forget?
Well, that makes sense. You can forget the throwaway one. That makes sense, right? It's a throwaway.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I haven't seen grapes in ages.
You don't even know what you don't even know what wine is anymore. Forgotten what wine is.
Stomping on what?
Okay, Disgusting. That was a quick one. Let's move to the next roll.
Okay. 7.
37. Things fall to dust. Lose a resource for which you have no corresponding memory. Do not create a new experience for this prompt. It simply happens as you stare in silence. Oh, there's a couple in a row like this. So
I lose my Bible?
as
Or
you
the deck.
as the months pass by, you sort of exist in this state of living in the mountains, feeding off of chickens and maybe a stray person from the village or tribes or whatever exists in Haiti at this time, and you just kind of exist as this creature of the night. Maybe legends start to emerge about you, this thing that comes out and hunts at night, and everyone is on guard and becomes aware. There's paintings of you that have been drawn on walls, and legends are being told of this creature, and you forget a little bit of who you are, a little bit, I think, because no contact with people, and
All right.
you lose your Bible. Maybe you burn it one day for I don't know why you burn it, but it sounds
for
appropriate.
warmth.
For warmth. Do you need warmth? I don't know. It sounds
Maybe I
appropriate,
just
though.
am coming face to face with how forsaken I am, and I decide it's useless. A useless relic from ancient past. But
Maybe
this
the
dagger,
words-
this dagger.
You still got your dagger. And maybe the whispers of Krakow are still in your head as you detach even more from society and from humanity. And the words of Christopher Columbus, "You are the devil," are echoing constantly through your mind. That this mission you had about being one of God and doing His work, maybe that.
Oh, that's right. I get a high from killing.
Forgotten.
It makes me close to God.
Maybe you
now-
were wrong this whole time.
Maybe Christopher was right.
Let's roll again.
3.
40. How do you conceal yourself while you sleep? What steps have you taken for protection? Check a skill and create a resource. Create a mortal servant character if you like.
Guillermo.
How do you
Create a
conceal yourself
skill?
while you sleep? What steps have you taken for protection?
I would say if I found a cave, I would try to hide the entrance of the cave with jungle brush and maybe create a mortal servant.
If you'd like, yes.
How about... I was so enamored with my interaction with that young girl in the church. And I'm very lonely out in the cave in the hills. That I come down and watch the village. Let's say there's a native village here, and I find a young person, a young girl, who likes to wander off and play in the jungle, and I befriend her. I say hello. She doesn't know my language, but I try to like communicate with somatic gestures or make funny faces, get her to laugh. Maybe bring some fruit or things I find, and she becomes maybe somebody I get to interact with socially, like a lifeline to humanity. And as far as a servant, maybe I ask her to bring me some supplies or things to paint with, because I still remember painting and I have a lot of free time out in the forest. And she's just somebody that I have a connection to humanity with. My last connection to humanity.
Befriend a young girl from
Haitian village.
Young Haitian girl.
I don't know if it was called Haiti then, but it can be.
Sure.
I forget the name of the tribe that I
Oh yeah, it definitely wasn't
looked
called
up.
Haiti, but for our purposes, it's Haiti.
Tuani or something like that. I forget.
Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, we can just call her a
Native.
native. Okay. And check a skill and create a resource.
Okay.
You only have ashamed left to check, which maybe that makes sense.
Maybe I feel ashamed that I know I'm a monster and I'm pretending to not be with her.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm unsafe and I could lose control and kill her at some point, but I'm too selfish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give that up, so I feel ashamed. And my resource,
You said she brought you supplies. That
sure,
could
yeah,
be something like that.
maybe she brings me a spear because she thinks I need to do some hunting.
Hunting spear. And then what is this? Do we have to give this character a name? Just call her young girl for now. Let's say you give her a name because you don't speak the same language. What name do you give her?
I will call her Bella because it reminds me of my days with Gabriella.
Got it. Love it. Okay. So you befriend a young native girl. She brings me a spear, and
Magic helmet.
I feel shamed that I am a monster, basically. Okay, rolls. We'll give me another roll.
7.
47. The world has evolved in ways you can't comprehend, causing you to lose a good amount of wealth. Now, this might be a moment to really jump forward in time because we can do as much.
Right.
This it's called 1,000-year-old vampire. We can jump as many years as we want. So the world has evolved in ways you can't comprehend, causing you to lose a good amount of wealth. What happened? Check a skill, create a skill that will hopefully prevent this happening again, and then lose a resource.
Okay.
So we could jump forward as far forward as you want. This could be the new world even.
Yeah. Let's say Christopher went back, made his plan for enslaving the natives, converting them.
Mm-hmm.
More and more people started coming over to the island. It's getting too hot to handle. So let's say maybe I hear about settlements happening on the mainland of the New World, and I decide to relocate to maybe I relocate to Florida or Jamestown area, that kind of thing.
You get a condo in Florida?
Yeah. Boca. That's Boca Raton.
So this is like, how many years are passing here? Like when did this first settlements start popping up? Is like the 1500s, 1600s. I don't know what was going on in the 1500s, 1600s.
I think more exploration and original settlements and stuff. And I think Jamestown was like 1600s, 1680s, maybe. I forget.
So let's say 1600s. 1600s, yeah. I make my way to the new lake, America.
Yeah.
How do you get there? What's the montage?
Walking.
Get on a boat.
Jamestown, 1607 in Virginia. Okay, So I'm going to say there are trade routes established for locals, and coming to the Caribbean, West Indies, and up the shoreline to collect things from crops and whatnot, and bringing them back to Europe. So I'm going to stow away on one of those ships as it comes through Haiti and goes up the coast. And when we get to Jamestown, it looks like it might be a good opportunity to reestablish myself with a new identity as a non-monster. But things have changed so much. I've been on the islands for so long, I've forgotten what civilization is really like. And it's like maybe landing on a different planet. People dress differently. They talk differently. They speak a different language, English. So I kind of maybe just find myself on the outskirts of that society and trying to figure out how to navigate through that.
It also says here to check a skill and create a skill that will prevent this from happening again. While losing a good amount of wealth. I guess we need to narrate enough to get you some wealth to lose. Or what is the wealth? What does that mean to you? You lose a good amount of wealth. How do we resolve that?
I think it just means that I was used to having some status in society, first as a monk, then as an artist, a Renaissance artist, and then as a priest. And then when I got here, I was out of that society structure that gave me opportunities to have some status as living like a creature of the night in the foothills of Haiti and whatnot. So I've lost all social status, and maybe coming in at Jamestown, I'm in rags and a clearly not a man of means, and I have to try to maybe figure out how do I get back any of that status.
Okay, that works well, because then so you're gonna create. So first it says check a skill, which you don't have to check. So we're gonna have to lose a resource. So we're gonna have to lose the hunting spear or the ceremonial dagger.
Hunting spear for sure.
So you lose the hunting spear along the way. That makes sense. And then you get to create a skill that will help you not lose your status again. So it's maybe this is your new job or the thing you're gonna do in town or in Jamestown. What is a skill you have that would be valuable? I mean, you've been hunting a lot, so maybe that's a thing. Maybe, I don't know. You tell me.
How about I establish myself as a tracker, like a hunter tracker, and they do a lot of exploration in the New World. They do trapping and hunting for game, and also exploration, pushing west, making contact with the native. They need to make contact with the natives. So maybe I've learned enough of the native language from Haiti, and maybe it translates a little bit. It's regional, I know, but maybe there's enough there that I could be like a translator of a liaison between the citizens of Jamestown and the native citizens.
So what skill are we putting down?
How about translation?
Translator.
Yeah. Maybe Krakow gives me little tutorial lessons. Maybe he's got some deep skills of how to comprehend new languages. He's my Duolingo or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, he's Duolingo. Okay, that sounds good. Let's roll again.
All
so
right.
you become this guide or translator, and you're kind of a liaison between the white people and the indigenous
and I know enough
people.
about society and like the hierarchy of the church of who to befriend, who to make friends with. Maybe I like try to clean up my act a bit, get more like
Mm-hmm.
higher class clothing and trade my way up.
Now you're gonna have to get a new name, obviously, because you had
Yes.
to. What? So what? Who are you now?
How about I'm going to change my persona to a Spaniard, just to throw off the trail of anyone looking for the Italian priest who murdered
Mm-hmm.
people 100 years ago of legend.
Mm-hmm.
How about Sergio Vargas?
Sergio Vargas. Vargas.
Yes.
Great. And you burnt your Bible. You're no longer a church guy anymore.
Right.
That was a symbolic burning. You're just like, I don't want to be part of this church anymore. As you transition to this new world, new life, new man. All right, let's roll some dice.
All right.
Or a die.
9.
9. 56. You begin a fantastic construction that puzzles the mortals around you.
Nice.
Give just a hint as to its purpose. Lose a resource and gain the skill visionary. Very cool. So you're going to lose your ceremonial dagger.
Okay. I'm building a structure.
You're building a fantastic structure that puzzles the mortals. Give us just a hint as to its purpose. Maybe you don't even know what you're building yet.
I think that I would try to be building a shrine to Krakow.
Oh,
And
that
maybe
makes
my
a lot of
dagger breaks. I use it as a tool, and it breaks in the process of building the shrine.
Or maybe you embed it into the shrine. Like maybe it becomes part of the shrine.
I want to build a power center for him in the new world and be able to commune with him in this shrine.
That is amazing. So we're out of memories now. So you're about to lose a memory. 6th memory. Which one are we going to lose?
Let's go back.
So we've got your farming life, moving to Florence, selling wine. Then you killed crew members of the Pinta, all that stuff with Christopher Columbus. Your 3rd memory is meeting the love of your life for the first time, killing the abbot, and then you escaped to Milan. Your 4th memory is you tried to sneak out of the abbot. You got punished. You killed the abbot in bloodthirsty rage, and you were reminded of your humanity by a little girl in church, and we prayed for Giuseppe.
I think I'm going to lose the 4th memory just for my own psychological preservation, that I'm maybe not a monster and I can forget killing
your first kill.
Yeah.
So you start to forget how you even got here. You still remember how you got here. You still remember that Krakow created you, and that you snuck down to his crypt and were turned. And then you haven't forgotten that you were possessed by him for 200 years, killing monks and aiding him.
Yeah.
And that you can command people with your voice. But you've forgotten your first murder way back in the day. Interesting. And your mentor. Okay, so you construct... What did you call it?
A shrine.
Shrine to Krakow. And embed like you use the dagger as part of it. Like you build the dagger to the.
I'm convinced it's like
altar.
The power source that this shrine needs. Maybe it's all in my head.
Okay, so we lose a resource and gain the skill visionary. So we've done that. Gain the skill visionary. And you have no more resources left. You're just this, but you're building this shrine, and people are in awe of this structure. You probably spend all your time and money pouring it into this building, and people. It's like outside of. Is it outside of Jamestown?
Yeah, it'll be a little outside of Jamestown, and maybe I'll start to try to recruit some people that I think might be interested in an alternative religion. I've heard some rumors of witchcraft in the area. They're not bad people. Witches aren't bad people. They're just, I'll give them a place where they feel like they belong.
Hey, with your translation abilities, maybe you're recruiting some of the indigenous people to this religion.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll again. That's wild.
Oops.
58. Society has changed. How has travel become easier for you? Recover any stationary resources for which you still have a memory. They are re-added to your resource list.
Ah.
That's interesting. You get a cart again.
I get an abandoned stone house and a wooden cart.
I get that makes sense. You could get another abandoned stone house. How has travel become easier? Where are we now? What year are we now? We've kind of progressed in time a little bit.
Maybe the 1700s, early 1700s. There are maybe more roads established between the New World towns and cities that are popping up. And there's more regular stagecoaches going between.
Yeah. Recover any stationary resources for which you still have a memory. Do you still have a memory of this stone house that you...
Don't know.
Yeah, hide out for a month in an abandoned stone house. So maybe you rebuild this stone house from memory that you...
Yeah, it'll be an annex to my shrine, a little stone house.
Live in.
I think he's got flashes of memories of what it used to be like.
Yeah.
And he's trying to create anchors and connections in his world now to who he used to be. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't, because he feels his memories thinning and fading. So that would be a good reason to like kind of recreate something.
Yeah, and that was a place that you first went to when you first left the abbot. And you became a monster. And maybe there's some sort of symbolism here, being like, because it kind of sheltered you and made you feel safe in this new world you were in as a monster. And maybe you want that again in this new world where you're
like
also
cocoon.
A monster. Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Another cocoon. Okay, let's roll again. We're montaging here. 60. Check a skill to avoid arrest as a criminal. What happened? Who was arrested in your place? Create a mortal character if necessary. Who was arrested in your place?
Maybe I had gone to another town to get supplies or start to establish some business dealings in other locations. Or maybe with my interactions with the natives, they've come to trust me, and it's been a while since I had a snack, and maybe I fed on one of them, and they came and were looking to have retribution. And because I could speak their language, I explained to them how one of these farmers had come in. One of the farmers outside of Jamestown had come into the shrine and and had murdered their kinsman.
Mm-hmm.
I witnessed the whole thing. It was horrible. Krakow would never condone this. And I tell them where to go find him. So Farmer Johnson had come in and murdered their kinsman, and they went and slaughtered him in the night.
Farmer Johnson.
Yes.
Farmer Johnson arrested
By the natives.
by, I guess,
Arrested.
loose term of arrested. Yes. Their version of arrested.
Which leaves his wife and children abandoned, which is so bad. I go and offer my condolences and maybe I try to ingratiate myself with them and take over the farm.
Oh, you parasite yourself.
I parasite myself and take over his farm.
Frame Father Johnson.
It's such a lonely life out on the farmland, Mrs. Johnson. I understand.
Parasite.
It's been so long since I've had a love in my life as well.
Oh, that's so
Can
cool.
I come to dinner tomorrow?
Yeah, so you befriend them, and then you start you start helping with the farming, and then they just become so grateful, and you're looking into the rest of this man, maybe trying to help them. And so who's this woman? Let's create that person as a character. The wife,
Carrie Johnson.
Carrie Johnson.
Mother of 2. She's a strong woman. She's good working out in the field.
Mm-hmm. And maybe she takes a shine to you. Maybe you take a liking to her, or maybe you just the stability of having of this family dynamic, which you've never.
Yes, I would say
before.
she's probably very religious and puritanical, but I slowly introduce her to the ideology of Krakow and its philosophy, and how we can always be reborn as someone else.
Great.
Life is more fluid,
Spread the word of Krakow. Great. That's awesome. Let's roll again.
3.
63. How do you provide for your banal material needs? Record an experience about the time this went wrong. Check a skill. So what is your day-to-day material needs, and how do you get them? And then let's use a skill to, you have translator for the natives available to check, and you have visionary available to check. So you can use one of those 2 skills to achieve your day-to-day needs.
Maybe I try to supplement my feeding with as much wildlife as possible. So I've arranged with the natives to bring me, to go hunting and trapping, capture
Mm-hmm.
wildlife and bring it to me
Mm-hmm.
for my feeding needs. And
what goes wrong? And also you're about to lose another memory.
maybe what goes wrong is they're starting to question why I need so many animals. They've never seen such a thing, and it seems strange. And I try to explain it to them, and I mistranslate that I need to eat these squirrels, but I mistranslate and use the word children instead. And they're horrified. And I keep trying to explain, I need to eat your children. I need to eat your children. Well, I don't understand. We've been doing this for years. And they suddenly are like, is that too drastic? Plot twist.
No.
And there's a falling out with the native community in this area. And I have made a huge faux pas about saying that I eat their children. And I can't really step back from it, and now I have lost a source of my feeding, so I need to kill more.
Right. And there might be rumors spreading about you.
Yeah.
Need to kill again. So I'll write that. Okay. And you're gonna check. That's the translation, obviously.
Yeah.
Translated for the natives has been used and checked. Okay. Let's roll again.
7.
70.
70. Okay.
Yeah, we're at 70. Mortals are cruel and work in ways outside your understanding. How were you mocked or victimized? Why was your response ineffectual and costly? Check a skill. So you're going to use your visionary skill here.
I would say that I get overconfident in my ability to be charismatic and draw people into my new awesome Krakow religion. And why are these people not interested in this? Because it brings me so much fulfillment in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It brings me closer to God. And all of these people here are supposedly people of God. And seem to be very religious, so I'm not sure. I don't understand why they wouldn't be willing to be open to a new idea of a different type of way to worship God or be close to Him. Mm-hmm. I feel like in my history as a monk, I was going through just the rote motions of ritualistic worship of God as a monk and as a priest, and that those were very earthbound. And that this new way of worshiping, of killing and feeding on the essence of life, brings me so much closer to God. It's like truly living the love of God rather than going through the motions that I did as a monk. And it's confusing to me that these people wouldn't want to come and translate their love of God into this new way. So I start overselling how great this religion is, and they become resentful. And they start seeing what I'm really talking about. And maybe a group of them come and they see it as blasphemous and idolatry, and they tear down my shrine.
Well, let's say that. You're in your stone house.
Yeah.
It's on an afternoon. You're doing whatever you do in your stone house. Or maybe you've moved in. I don't know. Have you moved into the farmhouse with Carrie at this point?
I think I would move into the farmhouse, but I keep an eye on the shrine. I visit it often. I use the stone house now as a community center for outreach activities with the natives and the colonists. And
so you're in there you're in there one afternoon, and the mayor of Jamestown, Robert James walks in. He's got a few of his cronies with him, and he knocks on the door and says, "Hey, Sergio."
Oh, Mayor, so good to see you. You finally taken me up on my offer to come to see the community center. I hope you've brought people. We can have a ceremony right now. This is fantastic news. You've seen the light.
I've seen something. And he looks up at the shrine you built. I finally decided to come check out this abomination that you've built over here.
I think you mean beautiful sacrament to God. Is this not beautiful? Look at this dagger right here. Have you seen anything like it before?
He's looks at it, and I don't know. Describe it a little bit. Like, what does he see when he looks at this?
It is a gnarly looking dagger that just oozes evil. It has old leather wrapping around the pommel and the handle of it, and the butt of it is like this skull of a demon with red ruby eyes and a long tongue coming out, wrapping around the handle of the dagger.
And is the shrine like a bigger version of that, or like what is this? What is this?
I
Whole
would
shrine
say the shrine is kind of like a domed structure that comes to a pointed dome with like pointed windows, like Gothic type windows.
Yeah.
It's kind of dark and a little bit musty because it's just a big stone room. And there's an altar there that has, maybe a little dried blood from some sacrifices here or there.
Got it.
So
Robert looks at this dagger. Are you guys in? So now you're in the shrine, I guess, because the dagger is in there, right? Yeah. And so he looks around. And he's like, "This place gives me the creeps, Sergio. I gotta be honest with you. You know what people call this place?
No.
They call it
Cow's home.
They call it the boob.
The boob.
Because it looks like a giant breast sticking out of the ground.
I never noticed that, but I could definitely see the resemblance.
So I have here a memorandum of relocation and restoration of whatever this thing is, and he hands you a piece of paper, and it's just written instructions that this shrine is to be relocated. You see, the town's growing there, Sergio, and this land needs to be repurposed for things that are more beneficial to the town.
Is this eminent domain? Have you established that in this? I did not know that was part of the
eminent what now?
Statutes. Eminent domain. You take over land from the people just for use by the. I didn't know that was in the bylaws of this community.
Well, the bylaws are written by me, so we're gonna have to take this down. And you see in the distance, there's like wagons coming over. With like a bunch of people have been coming over to like tear down this structure. And they get to work in front of you, just kind of like basically like ripping it apart and start. I don't know what construction equipment exists.
Mayor James, no, this is outlandish. This is an outrage. This is sacred ground to Krakow. How could you do such a thing? This is abomination.
I'm the mayor, Robert James. You voted for me, so
I know I voted for you, but I didn't vote for this. This is not. You said eggs would come down in price. Cut that part out. No, I didn't vote for this. This is abomination.
We need to build a grocery store here.
Maybe you could just add it on to the.
Need. That's what people need.
It could be grocery store, Krakow shrine right next to it. Kind of like your grocery store have pharmacy. This has Krakow shrine. It's a 2-for-1.
You want us to build a grocery store inside the boob?
As an annex to the boob. So that you go grocery store, then you come to boob to worship Krakow, maybe make a little sacrifice. It's a good thing.
Well, we don't really. I don't know how you built this all by yourself.
It took me ages.
Very impressive.
Ages to build this thing. It would be such a shame to tear it down.
All right. Well, so they go about reconstructing that. They just basically build a grocery store, a general store inside of the shrine.
Oh, they take it over. Okay.
They take it over. They annex your shrine from you. Everyone's voted for this because most people in town are creeped out by this. The indigenous people, the natives, you've indoctrinated a lot of them, and so it kind of becomes this point of contention where the natives are showing up to the shrine, but then it's being run as a general store, and tensions are starting to rise between everybody. And let's move on from that with the roll and see how that plays out.
3.
And we're going to check off visionary. I guess that makes sense. You're no longer the visionary of
the visionary of the boob. I feel like once I saw the boob, I couldn't unsee it, and it just made me a little dejected about the whole building now.
What did you get?
A 3.
Uh,
I could not believe I wasted years of my life building a boob.
you
How
achieve a
embarrassing.
position of absolute stability that might sustain you, unchanging until the sun dies. What does this mean? The game is over.
Says the game is over.
This is our final entry. I want to do one more before this final one.
Okay.
So roll me one more roll. We're gonna
Got a
subtract
1.
one.
I
You rolled a 1. Oh, this is good. Okay, this will work. An immortal character has been destroyed by mortals. How did you come to find out about this? What did you lose? Create a skill based on a memory. Create an immortal character if necessary. Okay, well, I know exactly what this is.
Okay.
You are you find some sort of balance in your life here between living in the farm with Carrie and running your pseudo Krakow temple / general store operation. But then one day you're like leaving the farm and you walk down the road and you see a lady dressed dressed in the clothes of the time. She's wearing a simple shirt. She's wearing a dress and a hat. She looks like she's like a European woman of some renown, and she's standing in the road, staring up at the boob. And you
Gabriella,
know who it
is that you?
She turns. She sighs. She says, her eyes are so sunken, they don't even, like, she doesn't even have eyes anymore.
Oh.
And she lifts up her hat. They're sort of hidden under the shade, but as she lifts up her hat, you see that as the sun hits her eyes, they're so sunken in. And she says, Francesco, my dear Francesco, I looked all over for you. I thought you had disappeared forever. I thought you were dead. But I'm sure that wasn't possible because I can't die either. And then I found out about this shrine. People were talking about this shrine in the new world. And I heard descriptions of it, and I just knew.
I swear it was subconscious that I made it the boob that is apparently your boob. I must have made an impression on me as a young man, and it clearly looks like your boob. I am very sorry for that. But it's beautiful, no? I should build another one right next to it.
It is very beautiful. You know, I have spent my whole life plotting ways to kill you.
Oh?
Yes, because you ruined my life. We were supposed to be together. I loved you, Francesco.
Yes. Yes.
You turned me into this monster.
Well,
to what I am today. And I've come to terms with it. And I came here to kill you. But standing here looking up at this thing, I feel drawn to it. I can't explain it.
yes, it does have that effect on people.
And she walks over. She walks inside the shrine. It's not open. The store's not open. And she finds the dagger of Krakow. And she rips it out of the shrine. And as she does, you hear 1,000 whispers erupting in your head. And you see and feel the voice of Krakow. You see Krakow, his essence emerge. It's dark, black silhouette, wisps of smoke, and his eyes glowing red, and his deep voice that has haunted you for hundreds of years now. And he appears before you.
My children,
He says,
my children, my slaves, my everything. Kneel before me.
I kneel.
Gabriella doesn't kneel. She stands there holding the dagger.
Bella, kneel. It's the man, kneel. Come kneel.
Is this... I'm not your child, she says.
Kneel, child. Serve Krakow.
And she takes the dagger and she opens up a book. She takes a book out of her bag and opens it up. It's this old tomb with gold leaf. I think you maybe recognize it from your earlier
monastery?
days in the monastery. It was a book that the abbot had kept in his private quarters.
The incantation to contain
books.
him.
Yes. And she starts reading from this book, incantations. And her whispers start creating this symphony of erratic noises and screeches within your head. And the image of Krakow starts reeling. He turns to you.
Stop this. Stop this, my son.
First, I'm a little jealous that he appeared for her instead of me. I've had this dagger for centuries, and he's never once shown up. Never called. Never sent a letter. Nothing. So, and then she shows up, pulls the dagger off the wall.
Absentee father.
Yeah. So I hop up, and I go to Gabrielle, and I try to grab the dagger out of her hand. Stop! You must stop! You're hurting him! Stop! This is my connection to God.
And she keeps speaking. She pushes you away, and she keeps speaking the incantations louder and louder. And the sky starts going a deep red. Everything stops around you. The birds stop chirping. The trees stop swaying. The sky is a bright red.
He's given you everything, immortality. Everything you have, you owe to him. Please stop.
She keeps whispering the incantations louder and louder and louder. And then she holds up the dagger and then stabs herself in the heart with the dagger. It lets out a burst of light, which swallows up Krakow, and they explode into a fiery ball.
Oh no.
Almost like a mushroom cloud into the sky.
No!
And now we'll go to the final entry. You achieve a position of absolute stability that might sustain you and unchanging until the sun dies. What does this mean? The game is over.
I think... Okay. Let me try this one on. When Gabby does that incantation and she stabs herself and the energy comes out, envelops him and her, and poof, they are destroyed. But energy never goes away, it just changes form. So after that happens and the red light dims, there's a surge of energy that electrifies my body, and all that power that was with Krakow and Gabriella comes into my body, and I have the knowing that I am the new Krakow. I'm now the head of the pyramid, and I can see now, like I have a vision of like all those flashes of violence I had from Krakow's past. I now see get like a download of like his knowledge of time, immortality, and that everything is just here to serve me. And I need to procreate my power through creating more vampires. And I find myself instead of having to hide away, I use all my knowledge of hierarchical society to start taking positions of power and creating alliances with people with political power and financial power, business power, and I become like an uber politician who's actually like this evil overlord. So I become the mayor of Jamestown, and then I become like the county commissioner for the Virginia territories and the governor, and I don't know how epic we want to go, but like I could be like one of the signers on the Declaration of Independence.
I love that.
And then I become like an advisor to the people in power, and I know that I never want to sit in the seat of power, but always in the background, have connections and tendrils into that, and I start developing the new world as a power
and
I can sustain.
And you create a secret society that carries the emblem of Krakow.
Yes.
That the dagger, the symbol of the dagger.
I start creating my children with little boob shrines around in secret locations.
Little boobs popping up everywhere. That montage of you doing all those things snaps back into your head, and we're back to that exact moment where you saw Gabriella die. You've just seen your future, and you pick up the dagger off the ground, and you tuck it into your belt, and you just walk off down the road into the sunset.
Nice.
And we'll end it there.
All right.
We did it!
Yay!
We created a monster.
Maybe he does live forever.
He does. He didn't die. All right. Well, that was great. Thank you for joining for that epic session of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. I had a blast. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
And we'll see you next time on Table for Two.
Bye.